The Gina and Maddie podcast.
Yeah, it is the Australian Open, and one of the men you're going to see on your TV is Tony Jones on 9 and 9 now. Morning, mate. How's it looking in Melbourne today?
Oh, Adam, come on. That's a silly question to start with. It's always nice in Melbourne. I mean, just another day in Paris. Gina, can you set him straight, please? Because
I'll give him a little slap. I'll give him a little slap for you, Tony.
I saw yesterday there was some rain around, so they had to close the roof for the games.
And Melbourne, often you have extreme heat, and we've had a lot of heat here. Is it really hot down there, Tony, at the moment?
Well, it's a little on the fresh side, I've got to say, today, but that's okay because we're getting into the 30s again, so it is going to be quite, sort of oppressive, the heat. But at the moment, we're just sort of like relishing in the cooler conditions. But, look, I rode into the courts today. You're supposed to say, gee, that's impressive.
Gee, that's impressive. Oh, my God. Well, we were speechless. It was so impressive. Look, the reason...
Sorry, an e-bike, but anyway.
The reason we were going with the weather is we want to ask, do the players that come from, which is an obvious question probably, but the players that come from overseas, do they prepare for the extreme heat that is often at the Melbourne Open?
Well, yeah, a lot of these players, say they have training bases in Europe and they train in the extreme heat, to acclimatise for these types of conditions. In the United States, a lot of them are in Florida and California, so they get a lot of warm weather there. Not a lot tend to sort of train in snow. So, they sort of they come here and they prepare for what's going to be. I mean, I was speaking with some players. I think Casey Delacroix, one of our commentators, was saying she used to prefer playing in the heat. So there's some players who actually relish those really hot conditions.
So what can we expect today at the Australian Open? Who are we playing? Who are we going to expect that's going to be getting through to the next round?
Well, who's going to get through to the next round? I mean, that's the great unknown, isn't it, in many ways? But I think what we are looking forward to is Alex de Minaur in action again. He's up against... He's got a really good draw this time. He's up against a qualifier from the US in the form of Tristan Boyer. So, look, based on his performance in the opening round, and based on his mindset at the moment, because he's in love with Katie Boulder, and he's got the engagement ring now. Katie's got the engagement ring, and as soon as he finished his match the other night, he raced over to watch Katie in action. So it's one of the great. Yeah, it's great. One of the great romances of world tennis at the moment.
Tony, we weren't expecting you to give us a love story. You're a sports journalist, and you're going out for the celebrity goss.
Well, I thought I could sit here and talk about first service percentages and how they play from the baseline as opposed to the net. And I thought, you know what, Gina and Adam, I reckon you'd rather go down the
love road.
The Real Housewives of Orange County or whatever it's called.
All right, I'll keep going down that road because I feel like the Australian Open, it's become sort of the new Melbourne Cup. You got a lot of celebrities attending. It feels like there's a birdcage set up with all the the brand sponsored stuff, and we've had some big celebrities over the years head to the Open. Who have we spotted so far this year?
Well, I do believe that Deborah Lee Furness was in town the other day. And, of course, she's single these days because Hugh
That's right.
left.
Did she look sad or did she look okay?
She looked great. Probably a weight off her mind.
I bet.
Let's be honest. I mean, what self-respecting lady wants to have an ugly bloke like Hugh Jackman on their arm? So,
talentless, non-talented, not a nice guy.
Can't sing, can't dance, can't act.
Yeah.
Not ugly. No, he's done her a favour. Yeah. So anyway, she's been in town. But look, can I say, what happens is at the start of each day, you get all these hospitality suites, like, I don't even know how to say it. Is it Piper Headsick or something, the champagne, like whatever that is?
Oh,
yeah, I know exactly the brand you're talking about. I don't know how to say it, but good stuff.
So they say, hey, look, we've got these people in here today, and they have footballers and cricketers. And you think, okay, I know their names. And then they have all these other things like social influencer and and everything. And I'm like, I wouldn't know if I fell over them. They've got all these, and all these would-bes if they could be. And you think, okay, I get the top-line sports people, but all these other ones, I'm just lost in the wash when it comes to that. But yeah, look, it's a very social place. I mean, if you guys haven't been here, you can come to Melbourne Park because the precinct is about 3 kilometres long. And you don't even have to watch the tennis. I mean, there is so much to do. Like, there's DJs, there's a massive kids area there where they can go, and there's, little stage shows and what have you. And then, if you want to watch the tennis, you can do that too. But it's just like a mini city, which is a party, essentially.
Well, I guess somebody who will be watching the tennis now that he's been kicked out is Kyrgios. I mean, he's sort of hinted that he might be retiring from singles. What do you make of that? Do you think there's truth to that? Is this the last we've seen of him playing singles tennis?
No, Adam, come on. You've got to know the game. No, this is what we do, okay? So now it's like, no, Nick, you've got to play again. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go back into training and I'm going to give it a real shot. And then there'll be an injury, and I don't know if I can do this, And then, so this will be the narrative leading up to Wimbledon, and then hopefully he does play Wimbledon. But you say we're not going to see him. We are going to see him. We're going to see him this afternoon because he's teaming up with his great mate Thanasi Kokkinakis in the doubles.
The special Ks.
Yeah, I know. And I tell you what, that is entertainment personified. The thing about Nick is, like, he is polarised. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But you've got to admire him. I mean, he's box office material. He puts bums on seats.
Yes.
And he's attracted this whole new generation of tennis fans. And, as I say, the other night, he should have pulled out of that match, like during the match. But he said, look, people have been waiting for 4 hours in the sun, which they were, to see this. And he didn't want to let them down. And, again, it doesn't matter what you think of Nick Kyrgios. You've got to admire that. And I believe him. So, no, Adam, we'll go through the motions and then, he'll make a decision.
Yeah. Well, before we let you go, we've got to ask your prediction. Who do you think is going to win this year, men's and women's? I know it's the tough one.
Well, I think Aryna Sabalenka can certainly do the three-peat in the women's rank. So I think that's I'm not going to say it's a gimme because she's still got some, some real opposition in the form of Iga Swiatek, who's the number 2 seed. You got Coco Gauff who's doing great things. So, yeah, there's some real opposition there. As far as the men go, Novak Djokovic is going under the radar. We don't really talk about Novak Djokovic all that much, but Jannik Sinner is going great guns. But Carlos Alcaraz is the one for me. He just absolutely blitzed his opponent yesterday. And also Taylor Fritz is another one going under the radar. He's number 4 in the world, ranked number 4 here, seeded number 4. But he's almost like a support act to his girlfriend, who is apparently just a huge influencer. I know this because my daughter is in her early 20s and she tells me. So, yeah, he's really popular on the circuit as well. But to answer your question, I think Carlos Alcaraz.
Oh, damn, because we got a bet running in here for the year and I've predicted that Daniil Medvedev, whose name I can't say very well, is going to win. You didn't even mention him just then, Tony.
No, because I can't stand watching him. I mean, the carry-on and the way he sort of smashes his rackets and spits the dummy and everything else.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
No, I don't think so. I don't think... If he pulls his head in and plays tennis, fine. But the carry-on, and I think he hasn't copped a fine yet for his meltdown the other day. But
because he threw a racket at it. It landed on a camera, didn't it? He hit a camera.
Well, he didn't land on it. He aimed it. He was just standing there smashing the living daylight. Yeah, he was standing there like at close range, just belting the absolute living suitcase out of this camera.
No.
What did that camera ever do to him?
Well, I don't know, but have you seen him on camera? He's not a good-looking dude, let's be honest. I mean, the camera's not kind to him, is it?
I love that so much. Well, you can see that guy, plus so many more, and, of course, catch you, Tony Jones, on Channel 9 and 9am for all the Australian Open action. Thank you so much, mate, for coming on and having a chat to us this morning.
Anytime at all.
The Gina and Maddie Podcast.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.